It's move 54, and that is the fifth queen of the game. Let's run back to the start. Arjun Erigaisi kicks off with pawn d4. He's the world number 6, also the up-and-coming saxophonist in this stunning Indian boy band, and this is truly one of the most bizarre, unusual Carlsen games played this year. Magnus responded here by also fighting for the centre. It's titillating Tuesday, played in August 25, the late tournament. I'll reveal the results of the tournament at the end. Online chess, clock times are on the left, but let's dive into this classic Arjun essaying a Jabava London, unusual, aggressive. If you don't know about Arjun, he's known as a bit of a madman, a nutter on the scene, right? So uncompromising, so fighting, so is Magnus, so do both players love a horse box, and Arjun now takes the opportunity to enter Magnus Carlsen's territory using the power of the horse box, opening the eyes of the queen. We get bishop d7, and here's the aggressive line here. He cracks on with Gary the G-pawn. Now, of course, it's looking to plough forward very soon. What if you take and then win a pawn? Yes, playable, but this is weak. You could take immediately, or bishop G2, even stronger. No E6, by the way, or then this drops. It's defended like that. So this is the kind of cut and thrust of these pawns and the tension. So in the game, Magnus just does this to stop the advance. Now we see takes here. Why not pick up the legendary bishop bear? Well, because this bishop's not so hot, right? Big seesaw, staring at its own pawns. Now the queen develops here. In a way, looks a bit weird, but it wants to be on the light squared complex. Prepares to castle queenside. We see the 000 now. b5 from Magnus is aggressive, always play king b1, keep Lord Hans Feingold happy, and now you could already crack on with the pawn push, but Magnus plays this first, bishop d3, and before you can say mini Magnus sitting in a wooden chair, this move is played to gain space. We now see the knight drop back, the pawn's about to drop, so Magnus doesn't play a5, he actually plays a better move and defends like this. Now it does allow Arjun to mangle the pawns, leaving Magnus with a structure that only a mother could love, but in return he gets open, attacking files. Arjun plows forward with the second kingside pawn. Now we see queen b6, looking to head here. You couldn't have gone here immediately unless you want a Botez gambit, and a lovely pony maneuver by Arjun, headed for here. This is why he practices in his spare time with his oversized, shiny blue horsey. Loves to carry it everywhere with him. That's a horrible threat, so the queen laterally covers and also x-rays the black king, which is stuck in the center. Pertinent for future. Magnus blocks the way. Now we see g5 and knight e4 sharpens things up after pawn f3. Because Magnus doesn't move the knight, you know, he could have done this. Headed for c4, b3 would probably come soon, but instead he takes here. Real tension now. Excuse me. You take me, I take you. So this was played instead, and it's actually a pawn sacrifice from Arjun. Magnus takes the pawn. This is the best line. He's won to the good, although they are doubled. However, his king is exposed, and the line now plays out. First knight d3 to hit the weak pawn. Magnus defends with the queen, also attacks a pawn here, and we get this check flicked in. How would you move here? What would you play? Blitz chess. Well, this is how we feel if you would have put the king on d7. You just lost the game. You run into this tactic here. Forktown, population U. That would be game over. Let's run back here because we didn't see king d7. Magnus is too long in the tooth and good at chess. The queen's now kicked. She heads for c3 and there's this amazing tactical shot. If you want to pause, look for it, do so. Think about the pins going on. If you're just here to enjoy the show, as Agad Mater would say, then this is the move. How cool is that? If queen takes, then you distract the queen from the defense of the rook, and you're in exchange ahead. So naturally it begs the question, what if you take the rook first, and then of course do whatever else? Well, this is the problem. You fork and win the queen because that pawn isn't actually defending the square. Lovely line that the engine finds, but missed in the game. Arjun just takes, but I wanted to show you that one. Now we see knight takes. He's restored the material balance. The stinky f6 is best. Here not so stinky. Covers e5. Magnus plays a howler, but this is the way to punish and not played. f4 come in. Sure, you can run with the king, but it all gets a little bit nasty, especially when this knight starts rotating around. As usual, the all-powerful stock barnacle finds these incredible tactics. Here's one sample. White's doing really well. Queen and knight work really well together as an attacking force. Let's crack on. The pawn was instead captured, preparing to run the a-pawn. Now the invasion. Attack here, so defended. Could hint at a check down here. So Magnus steps up. Getting running with the pawn, best move, but Arjun goes for a queen exchange. Is he Magnus in disguise? Now we see takes here. Magnus has restored the material balance. We see this one running. Knight e4 hits the queen. She dives in here. Pawn now attacked. Check. King a2. Defended here. And after knight d3, improving that piece, defending the king. Great chess. Magnus now pushes piece, sets up the overpowered bathtub. This king, though, anything but chilling. More of a jacuzzi right now. Bubbles everywhere. So much chaos. a5 is played. And the best move, queen g1 apparently. Pressure this pawn. Maybe look to bounce to this diagonal if the white queen ever moves. But it's just madness. Magnus plays this. And this is why I had to mention the best move. This is a howler. It loses the game on the spot. But Arjun misses it. They're low on time. What's the killer shot? If in doubt, give a check right. Now I went a bit mad on the paint here. I've been watching a lot of Yasser Ross lately. Love how he does those still lifes. Really brings them off the page here. The problem I'm trying to highlight is the king's got no squares except this one. And then you go to Forktown. Population Magnus, that's game over. He'd have resigned, surely. So that was the way, but missed. This was played instead, covering the a1 square. Otherwise, there was a bit of a deadly attack going on. Possibly the pawn would have dropped if you advanced it prematurely. Now we see knight e4 to hit the white queen, which is covering squares. She slides to b2. Honey, I'm home, she says. House is an absolute state. One of the kids has run away, but actually it's a good thing. Because there he goes, or she goes. b4 defends the way, g4 now from Magnus, and we've got ourselves a pawn race. They're running faster than prime Yasser Serwan. Both players make another girl. That is 2 each. That's the 4 queens. There's a 5th to come. What an unusual, bizarre game this is. Absolutely quality. Unfortunately, a pair of queens leave the board right now. Just 1 each. And what would you play here? Low on time, blitz chess, 1.6 seconds. Of course you play pawn b5, played in the game. It's a blunder. Black's now winning. Just to quickly show you this line. It was missed by Magnus. We go to the back cave. If you keep running, so natural. You can check, and after king b1, natural of course. You don't want to lose the pawn by blocking with the queen, although it was the best move. Then there's knight d2 check. Fine, I'll just sidestep, no worries. But now knight c4. Hit the queen and threaten some nasty stuff like check and mate here. So what if you come to b1, stay with the square, now you get mated. Some crazy geometry. They really do attack well together, complement each other like, I don't know, please help me with that sentence. Magnus misses it though. He blockades the pawn, didn't find the queen d2 resource. Obviously this is natural. Now you should activate the knight here. Sometimes you have to fight for the knight to party. Queen check. King b1 was a mistake, as you see, by the way. This was best, but not played. King b1, knight d2 check, now played. But here, there's an astonishing resource for Arjun. Pawns attacked, queens attacked. Now, logically, you want to move the queen, right, and stay with the pawn. If you come here, well, you run into this. So anyway, what if you go queen b1, let's say, well, then there's queen a5, and you threaten mate in 1, same motif, but also to win the pawn. Amazing lines. So the knight's attacking the queen and the pawn. What to do? Low on time. Arjun plays a brilliancy. Pawn b7.
Pooh. What a move. What a move.
Now it only gets a great move, but it's a brilliant move in my eyes. Low on time. And if Magnus blockades the pawn, not played, well, the trouble is you're just paralyzed now. Looks like you're about to win it, but in comes this guy. The seahorse saves the day. Say you try and get some pawns going, counterplay of your own, well, this one kicks the queen. Say you take the pawn, then you drop a knight. Just one sample line, white's winning. So let's run back. Magnus goes for the activity, and the second brilliant move, to my mind, I really love this one. Magnus is about to check, and the king's blocked in. You know, don't make a queen, you lose the game. You could only do this and then lose. So Arjun finds queen b4. Therefore, after check, allowing himself the option of knight e1, but defended by the queen. Such impressive play by both players. King sidestepping, knight d2 check, king a2. This seahorse spawns once more, and the fifth queen is on the board. Move 54, there's still 20 odd to go. Magnus looks for play. We see queen g3, king e4, and it's checkmate in 3 moves, now 2 moves. Checkmate in 3 with queen g4. This is the checkmate in 2. King goes, and you shut the trap with the knight. Don't even need to win the queen. King is dead. But missed by Arjun. He goes check here, and it allows the king to run away. Okay, still checkmate in 4, but not anymore. King runs away. They're blitzing low on time. Is Arjun just being sadistic? He's going for the central pawn. Wins it, although he does actually shed an entire knight now. However, when the fifth queen has been landed on the board, and you've got 2, and your opponent got 1, should be enough, even against the GOAT himself. And here we see resigns from Magnus Carlsen, because the queens are being forced off the board. Let's say like this. Not much more to say. This pawn, queen, too strong for a knight and pawn. So that was the final position. Incredible game. I think the only one Magnus lost. Let's check the tournament standings. So he takes home the tournament. Only game he lost. Arjun second. Hope you enjoyed. Have a look at the video on screen in case you missed that epic match between Magnus and Hans. And I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.